Soy is touted as a superfood, and while I think it's a fantastic addition to the diet, there is much debate on whether it's good for certain health conditions, such as endometriosis. Now, if you have endometriosis, you might have come across the soy debate in your readings. Will it make symptoms worse? Will it make them better? Should we be avoiding soy products with endometriosis altogether? Well, that's what I'll be diving into today. Stay tuned to hear about what the research says. Hello, if this is our first time connecting, my name is Melanie McGrice and I'm a dietitian who specialises in fertility and reproductive conditions. I help guide parents-to-be on how they can improve their chances of conception through nutrition and lifestyle changes. I read the nutrition research so you don't have to. Now, if you're looking to start a family and want some meal ideas, download my free fertility meal plan from melaniemcgrice.com/fertility. Now, endometriosis is a condition that affects roughly 10% of women of reproductive age worldwide. It happens when tissue, similar to the lining of the uterus, grows in other areas of the body, like around or on the ovaries and fallopian tubes. It can also spread to other organs in the pelvis, like the intestines and bladder. The tissue develops into growths or plaques in these areas, which respond to hormones of the menstrual cycle. These growths can also shed each cycle, just like our uterus would, and cause bleeding. Around the time of menstruation, this can cause severe pain in the pelvic area. Endometriosis is known to be an estrogen-dependent condition, which means estrogen must be present for the disease to progress. Now, why I'm telling you about all of this is that let's delve into estrogen. Estrogen is a hormone that plays a role in regulating the menstrual cycle and the growth of endometrial tissue. Some research suggests that high estrogen levels are implicated in the development and progression of endometriosis because it stimulates the growth of endometrial tissue, whether it's within the uterus or not. Therefore, some treatments for endo aim to lower estrogen levels in an attempt to alleviate pain and reduce its progression. I commonly get asked about soy products and whether we should avoid them if we're suffering from endometriosis. Soy products include tempeh, edamame, tofu, miso, and soy drinks. This is a great question because soy products contain what we call phytoestrogens, which have a similar chemical structure to the estrogen in our body. They also bind to the same receptor sites that our own estrogen does. So, if we avoid soy products because of the phytoestrogens they contain, theoretically this should lower our exposure to estrogen and minimise its role in endometriosis. But when we look at the research, this isn't necessarily the case. Several studies have been conducted that look at the role of phytoestrogens and the role they play in estrogen-related diseases, but the findings are inconsistent. One study, which was conducted in Japan, where soy is a common part of the diet, found that higher intakes of the phytoestrogens genistein and daidzein was associated with a decreased risk of advanced stage endometriosis amongst infertile women. The study also found an association between high intakes of soy phytoestrogens and a decreased severity in endometriosis symptoms. This was because the phytoestrogens had an anti-estrogenic effect that blocked the body's own estrogen from binding to receptors. And this is what makes this topic so controversial because phytoestrogens have both an estrogenic and anti-estrogenic effects. This means that they can both increase and decrease estrogen levels in the body. This is why the research is so conflicting because we really don't understand the mechanisms by which phytoestrogens do this. Another interesting study looked at the relationship between the amount of phytoestrogens in the body and an endometriosis diagnosis and found no link. However, there is compelling evidence in the campaign against soy products for endometriosis. There's research to suggest that babies fed soy-based formulas are twice as likely to develop endometriosis as adults. A case report looking at 3 women with high soy consumption and abnormal bleeding caused by an underlying endometrial issue found their symptoms improved after they removed soy from their diet. Phytoestrogens and the natural estrogen our body produces interact in a really complicated way, which can explain why these studies report different findings because there's so much mystery behind the mechanism. A Chinese study echoed this concern. It also revealed that phytoestrogens may have potential therapeutic value because of their ability to modify the factors that contribute to the symptoms of endometriosis. They can do this by reducing inflammation, the invasion of endometrial cells to other areas of the body and their growth, and the production of natural estrogen in the endometrium. Despite all of this, whether you should be avoiding soy products with endometriosis or not is sadly still up for debate. Longer-term studies with larger groups of women are desperately needed. But watch this space. Endometriosis is extremely debilitating and scientists want to get to the bottom of it. So for now, my advice, your body is your own and you know what makes you feel good and what doesn't, so tap into that. Phytoestrogens are abundant in many foods other than soy, such as nuts and seeds, legumes and grains, and they're really healthy for us. These foods are also a feature of the Mediterranean diet, with many studies showing that women who adopted this diet had a significant improvement in pain symptoms. Now, I want to stop here for a minute and highlight that we don't eat nutrients. We eat food and have dietary patterns. So I invite you to look at your overall diet and assess how balanced it is. If you need help with this, then book in a nutrition assessment with one of our dietitians at melaniemcgrice.com/booknow. I hope that's given you some insights into this really interesting topic and that you enjoyed this video on avoiding soy products with endometriosis. If you haven't done so already, make sure you subscribe and check out some of my other videos on nutrition for endo. And I'll see you next time. Can we make it a tiny bit faster? And, oh, sorry. I just need a little piggy there. Yeah, great, thanks.